there, my name is Sive, and my interesting fact is I'm Xhosa. Believe it or not, most people think I'm Zulu. That is not true.
I don't know who the people are.
Yeah.
Anyways, hi, I'm Thabo, and an interesting fact about me is I'm a Pisces sun. This segment of my channel is going to be dedicated to celebrating Pride Month. We're gonna call it Queer Me Out, and in this segment we're just going to be sharing our experiences with queer lives and how it is like being a queer individual. And for today we're going to be talking about sex beyond the bedroom. Specifically, what inspired today's video is that I've always seen encounters of shame for wanting love. Like there's a whole notion that I can't be 20 and wanting love, and a huge part of this really stems from the fact that people see being gay as just being overtly sexual and nothing over that, right? So that's why I wanted to do this video. So I want to give you guys like a bit of background. Yeah.
I mean, I'm invited here because why not? But also, I think
because you're the star.
But also, like, I bring on that, you said shame from
wanting love.
And my take on this is I get called out for not finding love. There's just so much shame in terms of, girl, you attract them, but you can't keep them.
Shady. So I just want to put out a disclaimer. This is like the direction where this video is going to be taken. One thing that we need to be cognizant of is that queer people, we tend to experience most of our adolescent experiences in our adult years. And this is because a huge part of our adolescent years is filled with us not accepting queerness or society just telling us we shouldn't be queer. And in most cases, it's often in adult years where we're like, I'm queer and what?
True. I mean, just adding on what you're saying in that, the spaces at, during our own teenage years, they're not conducive into experimenting and, feeling free. So, excuse me, you'll find that in our young adult years, in our 20s, where you've grown in so many ways, except that you've not really experienced interacting with your love life, your romantic life. And so you've matured in all of these things, and now you need to find this aspect of yours that is somewhat immature.
Yeah, so what we're going to do for this video, we're going to be taking it as if we are in a relationship. Yeah. We're speaking from a relationship context. Not us.
I love my girl, but not us.
Not us.
Yes.
We're gonna take it from an
assumption is in a romantic relationship. I'm sorry, I had to address that.
You had to definitely get that out of the way. Because I feel like it's so important to look at what gay relationships are like, right? And like you see what, like I said in the beginning, as gay people, we're only seen as sexual. And I believe this confusion exists between the difference between homoerotica and homosexuality.
Okay.
I think can you get us a definition of homoerotica so that like we can
we did some research before this.
Exactly. Research queen.
Homoerotica, the notion is, the arousal, the desire of same-sex interactions, whereas homosexuality is based on the attraction of being attracted to the same sex.
All right. So I feel like, you see, that's the thing. The fine line difference then between homoerotica and homosexuality is desire. Right?
Yes.
And I feel like desire plays such a great role in being gay because desire speaks a lot on what you prefer sexually. Yes. I think one thing that's very important to know for those who don't identify as gay is that the minute you understand that you're gay, you need to think of, how is my gay sex interaction going to be like?
It's true. I mean, we need to understand gay sex because one of the fears that you hear is, oh, how the hell are you gonna do that?
How are you gonna do that, right?
Yeah. Sword fighting,
Even now, why would we be sword fighting?
These are the assumptions. Like, how are you going to interact with another man? So, as an individual as well, you're very concerned with what is sex going to be like and how do I make sense of sex?
So, I feel like as gay people, one of the things we need to understand is, what is your sexual preference? And by sexual preference is, what role are you going to play in the bedroom? Like, what is your sex in the bedroom going to be like? Are you going to take it from the top? Are you going to bottom? Are you going to flip-flop like a versatile queen? Flip-flop. Literally. So you need to get that understanding. Now, a big understanding of that sexual identity then transcends in the relationship sphere, in that people take their sexual role into relationship dynamics. Like,
yes.
people then become their sexual role in the way they behave, their mannerisms. Like, there's just like so much to that.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So you're trying to say to us now, we need to bridge that. We need to keep that. Okay, so yes, we get it. You have a specific role that you play in the bedroom. But that role does not define you beyond the bedroom. Sexually wise. I mean, sex, fine. Y'all can agree on that. So we can discuss this is what I need and want sexually. However, that should not necessarily transcend into
the relationship
other
dynamic.
aspects of relationship.
And I think you see now with relationship dynamics, this is where like we are in a relationship. Say, for example, it has been stereotypical that the bottom is going to assume the role of a woman. This is where the problem becomes. There's an engenderedness of sex in the community. And this definitely then affects relationship dynamics in so many ways. Because now this creates your typical expectations from each party. For example, say a top should treat me like 1, 2, 3, 4. Why do you calling your partner a top? Why isn't my partner should?
But Thabo, you know, I mean, as much as we do have that, I think we also need to understand that society is normalizing heterosexuality. So, I mean, I'm not going to shout at you and say, listen, your top or your bottom, that whatever your partner is, you know, it stops in the bedroom. I understand the philosophy and the thinking and the motivation that this is how it's normalized. And I think that's what we try to do as queers as well, is we try to make this thing that we're doing normal.
But like you see now, the problem when we as queer people try to normalize with the heterosexual standard, we remove the definition of queerness.
We forget that. And this is exactly that.
Like, the queerness is not heterosexuality. Queerness recognizes the non-existence of that setup.
The beauty of being queer and different is that we get to define what it looks like.
Exactly.
But we are so like fixated on this idea that there's a man and a woman. Baby, boy or girl or they or whatever you are.
Yeah. And now you see, the problem then becomes because people act on what their sexual roles are, it becomes as if sexual compatibility is the underlying important factor for a relationship.
Yes.
You see, so like there's so many levels of compatibility that are important for people to get relationships and to make the relationship work. Like, for example, I think I could never be in a relationship setup if I'm not emotionally compatible with a person.
True. So let me just interject there. Let's get in there. What I think Thabo was trying to say, and if it wasn't clear for you, I'll say it.
Okay, ma'am.
Sex is not a foundation to a relationship,
but sex
is important.
Exactly.
I'm not dismissing that.
Yeah,
I believe, but I don't even call it sex. For me, it's like I look at it as one of the pillars of the relationship is intimacy.
True.
Sex is included in that intimacy.
Yeah.
But there are other pillars that we need to consider. Yeah. Emotional compatibility, mental compatibility, financial compatibility.
Financial compatibility.
Itangura cannot be ignored. People say
true.
consider money.
We have to consider money.
Have you tried to date a broke ass nigga?
No. It's not even about brokenness. It's all about what are we doing in the relationship together. If you're not financially compatible, we can't do coffee dates because your funds are limited. One
person paying.
Yes, you see.
Emotionally, we can't always have one. So we cannot only consider sex. I mean, I understand. You know, every relationship. There's the honeymoon phase. The honeymoon phase when all you can do is like you can't stop thinking about each other. You're doing that nonsense with video calling. Like, let's sleep next to each other and what? Yes, that's pretty. But at the same time, you need to start learning your partner. You need to start noticing that who are you guys outside the bedroom?
You see, because also that's the thing. That's why like sex beyond the bedroom.
Sex beyond the bedroom.
Sex beyond, like, in as much as we're going to have sex, it's not the same. When you are in a relationship, you exist beyond the bedroom.
True.
And that is why it's so important for to change the whole narrative that as queers we only exist as sexual beings. Yes, we are sexual.
We are sexual beings.
However, there are other elements that we feel are not portrayed enough.
And we are more than sex, guys.
Exactly. And even our identity is more than sex.
If I may project and just overshare, I think I was telling you earlier this in terms of, I had normalized seeing this individual. But it got to the point where it's like, what do I do with you in the middle of the day? Like, I know I go sleep over at your house, but like,
what do we do
in the morning? I'm leaving, but you're my partner. What, I should spend time with you.
Also, guys, that's an introspection. If you are in a relationship, ask yourself, what do we do in the middle of the day?
It's so tricky because I'm like, I always get anxiety around that. I always get anxiety in terms of, okay, let's put alcohol aside. Let's put, okay, I don't do drugs. But you do,
don't you do drugs? I'm kidding, guys, it doesn't.
If my partner does drugs, respect. It's fine. Okay. We'll put drugs aside. Let's put substances aside. Let's put sex aside. Let's put the evening aside. What are we doing during the day?
Yeah.
Who are we during the day?
And I think that's why it's so important for us to realize that our relationships could not be based on sex.
It can't be. I mean, like, again, I'm going to emphasize sex is a very important factor. I'm not going to say stay with some person whose sex slap. Whose sex sucks,
Yeah.
Obviously. But as that as well. There's this issue in our community that if the sex is that good, he's there or worth everything.
With everything in what context?
I'll give you the stigmatization.
Yeah, you see now, with the problem that I have then with stigmatization becomes, stigmatization exists because the only good thing this person could ever give you is the sex.
But we need to be able to understand and distinguish that. Because, and for me, I'm very quick to say, are you catching feelings? Are you infatuated? Or was the sex good?
Good.
You need to be able to understand.
Have a sense of discernment.
Distinguish that.
Yeah, true.
Honey, if you're with a partner who's patient, who is on your sexual level,
sexual intimacy
does not necessarily mean they will understand your goal. They will understand, your hobbies, and you're just like, what you like to kill the time
even
with.
like, that's the thing. Like, that doesn't mean that outright they'll be compatible with you. Exactly. Hence, now it's very normal for people to be in quick 13-minute relationships. Like, it's a good 2 weeks and it's over. I think that's because the sex got too repetitive to a point just like, what else can you do? What else can you do? Anyways, guys, that's the first part of the video. The second part, we want you guys to get to know us in as far as these address topics. So, under like homoerotica versus homosexuality, we have a question that both of us are gonna answer. For example, when is the right time to have sex with someone you like? You've had conversations with this person. You are aware that I'm attracted to this person. I want to be in a relationship with this person. So when is it the right time to have sex with that person?
You go first.
Sive, that's not fair.
You asked the question.
Okay, I would say I would want to keep the sex when I have addressed the elephant in the room. That is, I like you and I know what your response is. Because I feel that the minute we have sex, without me telling you how I feel, my feelings towards you are going to intensify. And it took me a while to reach those points where I realized sex does intensify feelings if you already like the person. So like, only if I know where we stand. Because I know if I tell you I like you and you say you don't like me back, I'm likely to block you. And like, this is sweet.
Okay, my turn. So like I said earlier, sex is one of the pillars. And so I'm not gonna say like it necessarily defines where things are gonna go. Okay. But I feel like as I'm getting to know you and I'm liking you, right? So I'm gonna first explore the various, but it's also one of the pillars. Yeah. So
you wanna see how the sex is like?
I do.
All right.
So my rule is, if I genuinely like you, second or third date.
Okay, that's fair. In terms of identity, like we spoke about, as a queer person, you need to know your sexual preference. So how do you ask the question of what is your sexual preference? Without sounding heteronormative, without being problematic.
The question, what are you, is very, very...
Because if you ask me what I'm a bad bitch.
I must say, I'm going to draw this again from an experience of mine. Not one, like just general. Is how do you guys socialize? Like, you getting to know each other, and as you're getting to know each other, there's a dynamic that is forming. Okay. There's a dynamic where, as we're speaking and how we're speaking, sometimes sex comes up in these conversations. Okay. And you notice the tone, and you kind of see how they are pushing,
okay,
how we're moving,
okay,
and then actually, sorry, I just thought, personally, I'll just give you the condom, but
wow, you know what? That was the easiest
I'm kidding.
answer.
I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
Personally, I just give you the condom. Okay.
No. At some point, I do kind of fem it up. Like I become super feminine.
So you're fitting into the stereotype.
I guess I am, but to the degree where I do vocalize it.
Okay.
I do vocalize what I like sexually, if the conversation is that way, you know.
All right. For me, it always comes up during the talking stage. It always comes up.
How does it come up though?
It either it comes up in very different ways. Sometimes it could even come to this phase where you're exchanging nudes. There's gonna be a preference of what nude am I gonna send to you. So you see, it's the little things like that. Otherwise, even before sex then happens, gonna be so what do you prefer? And I'm just like,
wait, when is the conversation though?
The conversation happens.
When you're naked?
No, before.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
So that's how it comes up.
Okay.
And then in terms of compatibility, which element of compatibility do you prioritize?
The most. You need to excite me mentally. You know what? If you're trying to keep me and draw me in for a very long time, this. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I think.
And emotional.
Yeah.
Mental and emotional.
I've said it. Emotional is at the key. At the key of me. Then from emotional, sexual compatibility is key. I can't have the relationship without sexual compatibility.
But then when do you start having sex?
After I have told you
who you are mentally?
After I've established who are you emotionally.
But you said mentality.
No, not mentally. I said emotional.
You said emotional.
Yeah, so it's going to be emotional. Meaning your emotional is going to be, how do you respond to stuff?
If we have time, can you just explain what emotional compatibility is for you? What do you mean by emotional compatibility?
By emotional compatibility is first of all, what kind of a person are you? How do you respond to my emotions? How do you respond to me being sad? And also, can I handle your emotions as well?
Yes.
You see, that is very important. Also, the kind of conversations you have. So I think it ties with mental compatibility to some extent. But I think it's more your emotional intelligence towards issues. What is your take on most things? So before anything. But then also, if you're not sexually compatible, I doubt we'll be in a relationship. But sexual compatibility,
it's important.
It's never
but
the
it's
underlying. It's never the foundation. And then with dynamics, like we said, dynamics then do tie in some relationship roles. So the question is, where do you show your most dominance? You go first. I want to know.
My dominance. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oof. This is a lot. My dominance comes in many forms, right? It's not in just one aspect of who I am. You know, I have a very dominant personality.
You do?
At times. So it's a case of, it's timing more than in how.
Okay.
You can have a dominant personality by all means. I'm not intimidated by dominance. Personalities. Excuse me. But I think if I had to choose an aspect of myself, emotionally, I feel I'm emotionally
you're emotionally dominant.
I'm very dominant in terms of understanding other people's emotions and my own.
Okay.
Emotional intelligence is a very strong point
of yours.
A big strong point of mine. Yes.
I think in most of my experiences, my dominance showed a lot in my personality. I tend to attract people who don't have a dominant personality like I do, and also even in facilitating communication. So I am the type to drag conversation out of you.
You drag it.
Yeah. And the last question, since we're both single and we talked about
easy. But we are. No, we are, Joey.
Hey, guys, friends.
Best friends, baby, you know. Okay. You know, I would tell you. I would definitely tell you.
The last question then becomes, what is your perfect first date?
You first.
My perfect first date. My perfect first date is definitely at a restaurant that doesn't play music. That's key for me. I don't want to be at a restaurant and ayebo place because I lose myself in the music.
You done. Honestly, honey, if you take my friend to like a date with music, you're gonna end up taking videos of him dancing.
So definitely no music.
Yeah.
A restaurant that allows for conversation. I would really prefer for you to look at me in the eye. Like only when we're comfortable will we sit next to each other, because that's my perfect first date.
Okay, I mean, I'm just gonna think on the top of my mind. So any restaurant by the beach, right? It's not corny because yes, I think I also want to do a restaurant setting because I really want to get to know you. I really want to have a conversation with you, but also like if we're not distracted. So if we're not doing like too much, like not a movie or we get to sort of learn each other's mannerisms. We can focus on each other. Food is a good way to like socialize, something to socialize over. Don't touch my food though, I don't like that. Like no fingers, you know, when someone like, can I taste that?
No, actually make me sick.
Not on the first date.
True. You're not comfortable.
After, the reason why I say by the beach, because I love romance, man.
You're a water sign. Honestly,
what does it even mean?
You're just being a water sign right now.
But I love romance. So I want you to be romantic. As much as you're going to be, you know, intellectual, you're going to be emotionally stable and intelligent, but you should be romantic as well. Because I love effort. So we're going to walk along on the beach, you know, we're going to talk, we're going to hear the waves, we're going to see the moon hitting the water, you're going to look at me, I'm going to look at you. I'm going to sip my tea.
Very, very romantic. And that is the end of the video, guys. This was the first episode of Queer Me Out. Do comment down below what you guys want us to talk about, because for this Pride Month, y'all about to queer me out. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms at
Sive is something on Instagram. Start there, guys.
Like, yes.
Yeah. Twitter, I'm trying. It's at caffeinated, but Instagram.
Yeah, I'm on all social media platforms _ Thabo Rathaba. Like this video, share with your friends. Until the next video, bye.